I don't know if you actually are. Maybe you're like 24 or something. But
Spot on.
I just remembered that because I have to make the player cards for Team Gravity Fight Night, and so I have to go look up everybody's age. And I suddenly remembered that you're 24. So that means everyone here can drink. Probably you guys back at home can drink as well. So drink responsibly, all that good stuff. Thank you for spending Sunday evening with us. Maybe it's Monday morning, I guess. There's not many places that are still not in Sunday evening. We do have to give out a quick shout out to our Team Liquid boys, Snute and Bunny. It's getting very late for them over in Europe. They're probably both in Cologne because they just finished round of 32. So one of them advancing on to round of 16, the other one not so much. But let's jump into our series just after this. Team Gravity presents Fight Night.
Y'all ready for this?
Coda LE going to be our first map that we're jumping into with Bunny versus Snute. Two Team Liquid boys. Team Liquid, in the past, I don't know, 6 weeks or so, been actually featured pretty heavily in the Team Gravity Fight Night. It's no accident, and these guys are very fun to watch. They're also very, apparently nice to work with, which I'm assuming is why they agree to do these show matches. So big thank you to them. However, jumping into this first game of this best of 7 to kick off the main event of Team Gravity Fight Night number 21. Representing Team Liquid and HyperX in the bottom right-hand corner, this is Snute!
Representing Team Liquid as well, in the top left-hand corner, we have Bunny.
Even though Snute lost out in round of 32 Premier League, I don't know how much of an impact that really has on like people's perception of him. I still view him as, you know, a very, very strong Zerg player overall. I mean, he has, of course, been quite popular overall, and he has, of course, been posting pretty good results, but I feel like he's still
11-11? Instead of 12-12?
Yeah, man. 11-11, everybody loves it. Gas First has become, I don't know about the standard, but it's quite common, and Bunny either goes for Reaper Expand or Run Racks Expand in 68% of his games. I'm incredibly smart, which is how I know that. No, just kidding. That statistic is actually from spawningpool.com. So if you want to know very interesting things like that, or jump in and grab some replays for yourself, spawningtool.com is the place to do that, at spawningpool on Twitter. But yeah, 11-11 coming out from Bunny. This dude loves Reapers. He's the guy who still went for 3 Reapers when everyone else was going 1 Reaper into Factory, into Starport, and Expand. He was still doing the 3 Reaper stuff.
So he must like this map very much.
He probably does. I mean, we've seen Reapers do some dreadful, dreadful things on this in the past, so maybe he'll be able to do it again.
So Snute was streaming earlier today, and he was trying to make the whole Swarm host thing work again. I'm sure he was just testing it out, though. I wonder if we'll see him try any of it in this series.
Back when Swarm hosts were good, I don't know, like, they're still, yeah, I mean, they're still usable. I don't know that they're as good as they were, but he was one of those guys who did Swarm hosts pretty much better than anyone, I feel. Like, maybe Stefano was the guy who could make Swarm host games that lasted forever, but Snute was the guy who, like, actually won with Swarm hosts because he was legitimately good with them, and I would love to see him... Oh, this Reaper! I would love to see him, like, do more with them. Now, we do have a second Reaper. Goodbye! Nope. Wow. All right, never mind. Bunny. He is, Wow, he got that away. Anyways, we got triple Reaper on the way for Bunny. That's what I was going to say. So
yeah, that was an impressive drone attack that he did. I think he got all 4 of those drones to actually do 5 damage each before pulling them back, which is just, it's very rare, and it definitely helps Snute feel a little bit more, you know, of a breather against these Reapers. That's so unfortunate. He doesn't even inject. He tumors first, and he loses it.
That is very annoying. And the third Reaper Actually, I guess it's staying back home. Yeah, this is a third defensive Reaper. He's just keeping the 2 Reapers. He's not looking for a Queen killing force. He gets himself a drone. Nicely played by Bunny. Tries to sneak around, tries to hang around for a second drone, but he still escapes with both of the Reapers. 5 additional drones on the way, getting pushed out for Snute. Bunny, on the other hand, finishing up his CC on the low ground. Now, interestingly enough, both of these guys are actually down in this matchup. So for Snute, he's 5-11, a 32% win rate in ZVT since November 2014. Bunny, in the same time period, is down 7-15, a 32% win rate in TVZ. However, 4 of those 7 wins were against Snute. So in pretty recent matches, which I know that these guys did have to play, was it? No, it wasn't Premier League. When did they play recently? I know they played at some point, semi-recently. I don't remember what they matched up against each other with, but Bunny has been, I mean, he's 4-0 in a way up against Snute. Oh, gets another creep tumor, just as it's building.
Brutal.
That is just mean. It's dirty.
Yeah, this is actually, it starts to become really problematic here because now he can't control the bottom of his ramp.
Oh. Huh, he actually just lost that queen straight up. He's losing drones now, 3 of them. Additional drones going down. 4 have been eliminated in total. Gets an extra couple as well with 2 Reapers still alive. No, 2 Reapers that escaped to meet up with the 3rd Reaper that is still alive. Oh, 8 drones and a queen. That is the kill count against 2 Hellions.
Yeah, that's...
Wow.
Oh, man. I mean, it's... And more indirect damage as well is the fact that, you know, he didn't inject during that either. And so his future droning is also, you know, stalled. So, 2 more. Man, this is a rough start by Snute.
Don't worry, boys. Bunny lost a Reaper. Ignore the fact that he killed 5 extra drones that he traded out effectively for that Reaper, bringing his drone kill count up to 13 as he heads back into the main base, picks himself up a 14th drone kill. And yeah, that is like nearly flawless Reaper control. Both of those Reapers escaping with so little HP, it's kind of sickening. Okay.
Oh, the revenge roach.
Yeah, man, that revenge roach. Stepping out. Talk to us about this, if only, right? I mean, if like units became better based on how much they killed, that'd be interesting.
That would be an interesting Legacy of the Void edition, to be honest.
I don't think they've got that planned. So talk to us about this +2 armor that's coming out with the heavy droning behind it. I mean, Snooty's going up to 3 bases and he's droning, but he's also getting that armor.
Yeah, I really enjoyed armor openings all the way from back in Wings of Liberty because when you go siege tanks, if you have +1 armor against siege tanks, your Zerglings don't get one-shotted. So if he's doing some kind of Roach Ling style, the Zerglings will tank a lot of tank fire because they don't die in one shot. This +2 armor, though, is hinting more towards not some kind of Roach Ling attack or anything of that nature, but really just a macro indecisive kind of play. It's a way to say, I'm not really sure if I want to stick to roaches, but I know that with armor I can switch and everything that I do is going to have this armor upgrade. But it looks like he actually is going to go melee, +1 melee, so he's going to stick to some kind of Roach Hydra composition most likely. And Hydras are on the way, Hydra Den is on the way, so banking up a lot of gas, so we'll definitely see him get all those upgrades. And a fast infestation pit as well. He's surprisingly, you know, efficient at getting to 70 workers after losing 19 of them. You know,
yeah.
So, and great Overlord pooping at the 3rd. It's buying the valuable time. You look at the income right now, and he didn't want to drop the mules just yet because he wants to drop them at the 3rd. So Snute has been making far more minerals than Bunny recently. So that's gonna help Snute a lot since you know he lost 19 workers. So his mid game wasn't exactly the most economical advantage. And scouting that drop is huge. Now he's because you know when you go this Roach Hydra composition, he's put in 3 infestors. He's investing in infestors as well. So
Wow.
with this composition, one of the things you're most vulnerable against are drops. So scouting that is huge. I'm sure he's probably even thinking there might be another one out on the map, but I guess not. He doesn't have anything at the 3rd.
Yeah.
He really wants to break those rocks. So do I. Whenever I play this map, I go for those rocks as fast as Snute is. The second I get army out, I start killing those rocks because it's a beeline to the 3rd base, a beeline for counterattacks, and all the fun stuff that Zerg wants to do.
Fast infestation pit into a pretty darn fast hive. I mean, this is 13 minutes where it's going to be finishing up in just another 20 seconds or so. So, almost 13 and a half, maybe 14 hive, and Roach is stepping forward. They do have a bit of an upgrade advantage, so they will be able to absorb that extra bit of DPS. 2-2 just now going to be starting for our Terran player, while 1-2 is already completed for Snute. And as you mentioned, those infestors, they're out on the field. There's the +3 armor. He's going really heavy into this armor. I mean, is he really just utilizing this hive for that upgrade advantage? I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Oh, surely he's got to get Vipers as well, but
yeah.
What's surprising is that, when Liquid Buddy sent the medevac in, he could have seen the hive on the way, but because of Snute scouting that drop, he didn't see the hive going on the way, and so Snute could have gotten away with fast Vipers without Bunny knowing about it. He's got no Vikings in production, no Vikings out in the field, and so if he did do a fast, 3.5 base kind of Roach Hydra Viper push, it could have done well. But I think he's playing a little bit more, taking advantage of the hive by getting upgrades, like you said, and now he's mixing in Vipers and.
Oh man, if this Roach Hydra is able to grab those tanks, but no, they are not able to grab the tanks before they siege. Bunny is, of course, going to have to be very careful about how he engages here. His tanks are presently unsieged. The Roach Hydra steps forward, gets a couple of kills on that bio, but not really able to make any substantial damage happen. And Bunny still has 5 unsieged tanks in kind of the middle of his army. There's an additional scan going down. He wants to know, can he secure a 4th command center, which he does have constructing? Can he secure this location? And the answer thus far is yes. He's forcing Snute back. Snute has been sitting on that 4 hatch for quite some time, but
the one hero Viper is going to need to come into play here.
He's going to need something great, some sort of great blinding cloud, or maybe the most important tank gets snagged, or I don't even know what.
Fungal.
Fungal. Nope, not quite able to land. There is a respectable amount of medevacs here for this bio. There's going to be one tank. Grab that hero Viper stepping forward, and now the tank's on the low ground. Of course, the vision being granted by the units on the high ground. There's the Fungals finally happening as they lock down a large portion of this bio, but there's more reinforcements behind this for Bunny. He's going to be pushing forward onto Creep very soon. And actually, this is a really nice spread of that bio. Of course, the fungal growth's not going to be grabbing any huge clumps. They're just grabbing the smaller amounts and stepping forward onto that hatchery, cleaning it up as the drones do get massacred here. Siege tanks laying down unholy amounts of damage. The infestors going down into the 30 army supply lead for Liquid Bunny.
Yeah, all his supply was stuck in the 37 roaches coming out. So, his supply was deceiving. He really just didn't have much there. And great splits, like you said, never letting any kind of money fungal.
Yeah, unfortunately for Snute, he tried to step forward with those roaches, tried to snag himself out a couple of tanks, but he wasn't able to make it happen. Evo Chamber and Roach Warren getting targeted down moments before Tunneling Claws finishes. It gets denied. +3 attack may also be shut down here, but +3 armor has been purchased for quite some time. There's not an assault on 2 fronts. It's all focused on the naturals, but the roaches are going to try to break it. GG. Bunny takes the first game of this best of 7, and Snute, he certainly had an opportunity in there, and with that fast hive, maybe it would have been, into something else, but Roach Hydra in kind of a weird fashion. What do you make of that game?
Yeah, and I know that, roaches can be a good defensive unit to secure and hold on to the income that he had, and since he took so much economic damage, I think it was okay for him to go into roaches, even going into hydras. But when that push comes and you only have one Viper, that was the nail in the coffin. You got to have the correct unit composition to deal with it. It's as simple as that. And the three investors kind of slowed that down. But honestly, I loved the three investors. He had it early. They had lots of energy. He was able to get some good fungals off. Not the best, but reasonably solid fungals, which help actually kill those units and break through the medevacs healing. But only having one Viper is really what costs him that engagement, which costs him the game.
Yeah.
And you're talking about that +3 armor, and I think if he did get 2 more Vipers and instead of spending 300 gas on the +1 armor, invested in 1.5 more Vipers, and maybe if he had 3 Vipers, that engagement, 3 Vipers, 3 Infestors with Roach Hydra,
with more
that
blinding
engagement,
clouds.
right, that engagement could have actually just went better for him and kept him in the game. And yeah, he might have been down on upgrades later and might have lost the next engagement, but that engagement truly was the big old max out push that he had to hold.
Yeah, it's hard to say if, those things would have changed, what else could have changed. In this particular case, we're going to be jumping immediately into Echo between these Liquid brothers. In the northern spawn position, our red Terran. He is representing HyperX and Team Liquid, but he's also one game up in this best of 7. This is Bunny!
He's doing the exciting build.
Yeah, he is.
In the bottom right-hand corner, we have, like you said, his brethren, Liquid Snute. Oh, is he gonna change the path of that Overlord? Because we all know that's where the 888 comes into play, but I personally don't change my Overlord's positioning. Doesn't look like he will either.
So
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see Snute defend this because I personally don't see this enough, and I've had to play Masa a couple series in tournaments before, and every time I run into Masa, he mixes this into a best of 3, or when I'm down 0-1 or something like that, right? And Masa is one of those players who's very good at these kinds of plays, and he pulls me apart. And I know you're supposed to be able to lose like half your drones and then still hold and have a hatchery, have queens, at second base, and that's how you win. But it's just I never feel good about it, and I'm just excited to see how Snute holds this because I want to learn from him. Absolutely.
Definitely a good player to learn from. Snute, coming into this, he saw the SCV with his Overlord, which an SCV that early on, of course, tells you something silly is going on, and now he's certainly spotted the bunker. It's within vision of his extractor and his other structures there as he brings off all of the drones. First Reaper going to be using that Reaper cliff to jump into the main base. There's the restart of the bunker now that the Reaper is actually here, but the spawning pool hasn't finished yet. It's just drones here for the defense. And this Reaper can dance just about forever. I mean, we saw in the last game where the spawning pool, I believe, was a bit quicker. Reapers still did that bit of damage, and now he has, well, actually, you gotta hand it to Snute. He's only lost the 2 drones thus far, and a lot of them are getting low on HP.
Yeah, he's got the 6 lings out in the way. I really like the spawning pool positioning, though. It prevents a wraparound, so it forces Bunny's Reapers to always be in front. But this is where it gets scary, though. He's down to 12 harvesters, and there's a bunker that he can jump in and out of.
As soon as the bunker is up, things become a lot more complicated. No, the Reapers do not get a proper full surround. The Lings not able to do that damage, and maybe they'll get it this time. No, those Reapers are too fast. Liquid Bunny is too good. You mentioned the drone count, 15 SCVs to the 10 drones presently out on the map, and Bunny does still have 3 Reapers now inside of the main of his opponent, cutting down that mining. And of course, behind this, the CC is just now beginning, but even let's say if all of these Reapers get shut down without an extra kill, it's still going to be double orbital against double hatch, and with this many drone kills.
Bunny.
Wow.
With the plays.
It's almost just gross to see that, like, 6
hurts.
harvesters 5.5 minutes into the game for Snute.
He's gonna catch these Reapers, maybe. Gonna be close.
Yeah, I
Be
mean,
very close.
he does have this attack going on the other
Bummer.
side of the map. He won't catch those Reapers, unfortunately. Would have had to pull the Lings off. Or, in this case, he does have a lot of Lings here trying to break down, but repairing is a pretty good function of SCVs, and Reapers shoot stuff, so...
He knows with 6 Harvesters, he can't let that CC finish. He can't, you know, he's got to do what he's doing right now, unfortunately.
Not a whole lot of options left. It's not like he can just try to drone up behind this and play the long game with, again, starting from those 6 Harvesters. The CC does finish nicely. GG, well played. Liquid Bunny takes a 2-0 lead in Team Gravity's Fight Night main event. This is brutal play from Bunny. Very, very well executed play overall. And in game number 1, game number 2, the early damage being done by Bunny, not insurmountable in game number 1, but it certainly helped that mid-game push from Bunny. In this case, it was a bit insurmountable from Bunny. So early aggression seems to be working out well for him.
Punishing, that's for sure.
That's certainly one way to put it. Now, Coda was the first map choice. It was Bunny's pick. Echo was Snute's pick. And now we're back on Devani Research Station. Lots of people call this a Terran-favored map. You can wall in quite easily. Natural is quite accessible to drops. And, I mean, it's also a pretty solid mech map. Pretty solid swarm host map, at least in the old swarm host style. Maybe not so much now, but, I don't even know, man. What does Snute even do on this? Because I don't know that playing greedy is going to, like, if he tries to play super greed, I don't know if he can go that extreme. It seems he has to do something kind of safe. He has to have some units out to defend.
Yeah, Vani's a map that we've seen Snute pull off the craziest of holds, craziest of swarm host play to deny mech play on this map. This map's very good for bio or mech. It's one of the or mass muta. It's all because of the natural being so vulnerable. It's all the way in the back of the main base. You got to go all the way through the main base to get to it. It makes that back that back location so vulnerable to drops, so vulnerable to mass muta, and then of course the map having golds in the center and such makes also mech pretty powerful as well, because you can just sit and turtle and you can't get to the main or the natural, and all you have to do is throw down a ton of turrets. And mass muta can still do work. You break those turrets and then you run somewhere else, and it forces him to constantly keep rebuilding those turrets.
Yeah.
And then you can actually break it, and once you come back and break it again and actually kill the command center, then you're putting him down a base and such. So we'll see what Snute decides to play. Pretty much every time I play this map, I go mass muta because it, one, denies some kind of dropping that actually just double drops my natural and just kills it, and then it also can give me the map control to actually break his natural later on. And I guess it's just the style I'm most comfortable with. While Snute, it's one of the actual unfortunate things about him going Swarm Host, and then they nerf Swarm Host. He spends all these hours in all these games mastering a playstyle that they just eliminate. And it's not truly eliminated, but like you said, it's just with the 60-second cooldown, it's only for harass. It's not for defense, which means that you have to already be ahead and feel confident in your play before you go them to begin with. And but they like you said, there is some utility there when you are ahead and you feel like you have a good enough army to defend anything he throws at you. Then mixing in 5 to 8 swarm hosts and creating 16 locusts that can just nuke a nexus or nuke a base, force a liftoff and such like that, flying over the gold base into the natural and such.
Yeah.
There's definitely there are ways to harass with it, but
the options are available for Snute, but We're going to be jumping into Vonnie Research Station for our game number 3. The man in the north, he currently leads 2-0. Can he make some magic happen for game number 3 as well? Representing HyperX and Team Liquid, this is Bunny!
And in the bottom center corner, we have his brethren, Liquid Snute. Alright, so he scouts the incomplete barracks and knows it's CC first.
Yep, 14 CC.
Yeah.
And then, I guess it was like 15 hatch, something pool, something gas. I didn't quite see them, but nothing too wild. I mean, Snute is going for that hatch first, slightly more economic play, but how that shapes into the mid-game is still yet to be seen. You mentioned there's a lot of different things that Snute can do, Mass Muta being one of those styles. And actually, it's immediately into the factory for Liquid Bunny, so he's not going for, you know, crazy Reaper play.
He hasn't started... Yeah, oh, okay. I was about to say, he hasn't started Link Speed, and so he's either going into Roaches or he's trying to do something else, and it looks like Roaches.
Roach is going to be the choice. Reactor going down on that Rax as the first Marine pops out, just for that tiny bit of pushing away the Overlords. Bunny trying to make sure that Snute doesn't get too much intel. But yeah, 14 CC on the low ground. So from here, Snute, does he really look to take a third base anytime soon, or is he just going to commit super hard to these Roaches? He's still mining gas.
Yeah, he's definitely committing to a Roach kind of... I'm not even sure if I would say all in, but he's definitely got to do damage, of course. You know, he sends his second queen. He only has 2 queens, and he sends both into his main base because he wants to make sure any kind of Reaper that shows up doesn't scout the Roach Warren, because he knows if it gets scouted, he instantly loses this game. So he sacrifices a potential inject and uses it while he's there, denying information. He's dropping a tumor, which kind of also gives him a little bit of extra speed for his Roaches to get there a little bit sooner as well. And so, good play. You know, a lot of times I'm a little greedy, I guess, and like the injects. But if you're doing this style, Roaches aren't larva heavy.
True.
All right.
Now
so
2 Hellions stepping forward onto the map. They see those Roaches, and yeah, Cloaked Banshee is already on the way. Now it's still got another 30 seconds or so to finish. But these Hellions, they're trying to buy time with these Roaches. Every second that they delay these Roaches is another second that Banshee has to do that critical DPS. But now, the Roaches are nearly upon the bank. They're nearly upon the base. They're nearly upon the ramp. And this Banshee, it's still not out just yet. There's not a lot of defense from Bunny. Now, Snute behind this, he got the 10 Roaches to start with. He's been pumping out drones, but now it's into Lings. So he's going to be looking to supplement this aggression with a few more units. SCV's trying to body block at the top of the ramp, but they're not able to do it. It's like 2 Marines, a Hellion, and a Banshee to try to deal with these Roaches. There's an attempt at an engineering bay block coming in from a Liquid Bunny. He has to pull pretty much all of his SCVs, but keep in mind, he's got double orbital, and he's got basically a saturated and natural expansion.
Split. 3 Roaches sniping SCV, and so he's 3 to the main, 3 to the natural.
A very good point, as he's going to be able to get kills on both fronts. Unfortunately, it looks like, well, 20 SCVs have gone down. That is a pretty serious amount. And
yeah, it's more than I thought. And
yeah,
you know, we talked about this earlier when we saw Beastie QT play. 2 Banshees, now a 3rd with Cloak. He's definitely going to have some counter pressure. But with the amount of harvesters he killed, 20, he might even just have to kill a hatchery with those Banshees. But it looks like he's going to stay home with them, ensure that he doesn't take any more damage. But once he sees these Lings, I think he should definitely move out on the map with everything he's got. 2 spores on the way.
44 drones to 28 SCVs. Boy, oh boy, our Mule's good, but I don't know that they're quite that good. Maybe if it was triple Mule, he'd be able to have a bit more confidence. As you mentioned, he's been keeping the Banshees a bit defensively. He's not looking to push out and really utilize that Cloak to kind of do as much damage as possible. Lings... Oh no, they're not going on the counterattack. Yeah, Hellbat's coming in. Lings are going to be heading in for the surround. They're off creep, of course. They're going to be pretty darn slow. And now the Banshee's going to be absorbing the first couple of hits from the Queens. The Hellbat's getting on top of the Queens. And just now the Lings are going to be here for the reinforce. And can Bunny make some magic happen? The drone count so far hasn't really been affected, but these Banshees are going to be able to do a bit more damage as the Hellbats get themselves into a very nice position. I don't know, will it actually be enough? He's only killed like
Great
4
play by
drones.
Snute. Yeah,
Yeah,
great play.
Snute reacting very, very well to this. He cleans pretty much everything up. Those Hellions, or those Hellbats, got into a nice defensible position, and then they tried to step out to do more damage, and they just weren't able to kill anything.
Yeah, and like you said, there was no third CC. He started it during that engagement, and with the third hatchery on the way, 8 queens, and like you said, that harvester advantage, you know, he's going to be able to make these 8 mutas, I mean, not 8 queens, and then just drone up behind it, and it's going to force him to have to get at least a second Thor out before he tries to take this, deny this pooping Overlord, and by the time that's happened, Snoot's got a 4th base, he's droned up to 80 workers, so, you know, Snute plays this right, he's in a great position here that he's wanted to be in for this entire series.
Finally getting into kind of that macro position. Now we do have double Evo Chambers going to be finishing up. Fortunately for Snute, or fortunately for Bunny, he's got this Banshee heading in on kind of the left side of the map, but he also did start a couple of extra missile turrets. He got the standard 3 missile turrets, as well as pumping out some Thors and Vikings. The Banshee does go down. It does manage to... Oh no, the second Banshee manages to get most of those drone kills. It's got 5 on the docket, so some damage coming out for Bunny. We've seen him use Banshees not only in TVZ and TVT as well to do that bit of damage. And here, it seems it may have actually worked out pretty nicely. He's only 6 workers down now.
Yeah, that Banshee was impressive play, to be honest. I've never really seen Terrans do such great play. He pulls it back, sets up a rally queue to go to the other side of the base, and then goes back in macros, and the second it gets back to the other side, he knows to check back. He has such precision with his practice and his play that it's just, he's on point, and that gives him the extra 2 drones. It was only extra 2 drones, but you know, those kinds of plays put Snute behind. 2 extra drones means he's gonna have 2 less drones later and such. I mean, it hurts your economy. You got to rebuild it. You lose the larva, which is so important right now. So, because he doesn't have a macro hatch, so larva's a valuable resource.
The 4th base is only about a quarter of the way done. Now, these Muta's going to be stepping forward, trying to get that damage out on the orbital, but these Vikings may have stepped a little bit too far outside of their comfort zone. Fortunately for Bunny, a Thor does pop out. The other Thors are on the other side of the map, going to be assaulting the natural as that Banshee finally goes down. That was the 5 HP Banshee from earlier.
Drone
and
pull.
yeah, that drone flow going to be getting a nice surround on those Thors. 0
GG.
Wow, yeah, nothing really went down there for Snute. He didn't lose hardly any drones in that attack. He lost less than 2 for sure, and he was killing SCVs on the other side of the map, so very nice for Snute. He picks up a win, making it 2-1 for the Liquid Boys.
Yeah, very well played. Even at the very end, you know, if he pulled those mutas back, all he would have done was held that a little bit easier, but actually probably would have lost more mutas, would have lost more army value to kill that army than if he just pulls drones and fights it with Roach drone, because it forced the Vikings to go to the ground, which clearly is not nearly as good as if they were in the air killing mutas.
Yeah.
And so it just, he sends this tiny little mech army across the map that's only counters mutas, and then he gets the 8 roaches he needs out to hold that, and then the queens and a drone pull, and then that whole attack becomes completely worthless, and then at the same time he gets to deny the 3rd. And so, you know, just really great play, understanding that, oh, I'm not worried about that attack moving across the map, I'll keep denying your 3rd, and whatever I have at home can hold that. And so even all the way to the end, it was great play, because somebody else who sees that freaks out, feels like they need their whole army at home, and then they actually lose more of their army, and it gets Bunny a third base completely secured. He gets those turrets up, and then by the time you go for the counter, he has it secured, and he has those Thors all in position and those Vikings ready, and then you can't break them, and then it turns into a macro game. But by Snute doing that, it actually just finished it right then and there.
And unfortunately for Bunny, never getting that third kind of sealed the deal. As you pointed out, there were a lot of things that Snute really did very correctly, and of course that comes from his experience playing on some of the largest stages in the world, being almost undisputedly the best foreigner. Like throughout 2014, he was pretty much considered the best foreigner. Even parts of 2015 considered one of the best foreigners, if not the best. And of course, going up against Bunny, it's not easy. So it's nice to see that Snute has still got some very good decision making. And as you mentioned, just a lot of very good decisions, some of them very small, stacking up over time, and a very good awareness of, what exactly do I need to defend this? He's like, I can pull drones, deal with these Thors easy peasy. My mutas are trashing them on the other side of the map. So, yeah, nice play from Snute overall. We're going to be jumping into Iron Fortress LE, into that first 4-player map of this series. And of course, this is going to be map number 4, our 4th game of this series. Jumping in here, we do have in the bottom left corner, representing HyperX, but also Team Liquid, the Cyan Terran player. This is Bunny.
And in the top right-hand corner, we have the victor of the last game, Liquid Snute.
Big cheers for him, taking a game back, not getting 4-0'd or anything like that.
Absolutely, I'm happy to see that as well. So, this map, we already see their cross spawns, and we were talking about it when we played against BCQT and Bly, that the 4th base would be problematic when you're forced to expand towards your opponent if it's not cross spawn positions. We're at cross spawns here. Snute should be ecstatic about seeing this, because anytime I play this map and I get cross spawns, I feel just even so much more confident in my play, because you don't have those kinds of future struggles. And so I'm sure once Snute sees this, he's just going to be able to relax even more. But like you said, he has far more tournament experience than me. I'm sure he's already as relaxed as possible.
He's playing from home. He's got his PJs on. He is not at all worried. He's like, just gonna beat my scrub teammate, easy peasy. Although I'm sure they've got respect for each other. Based on like Twitter, because I've literally never interacted with these guys. They seem like they're both, just gentlemen. They are not too much into the whole BM scene as some players are. Oh, this is an annoying drone. It doesn't get a kill, but boy, is it close to getting a kill. Yeah. He is going to be chasing that guy. Forces the extra SCV off the line, and he's going to be forcing a little bit of a repair there. You just need like a couple of drills of repair so that SCV can survive. But there's going to be the finish off. And of course, with this barracks positioning, I'm going to sound absolutely brilliant here. But any scrub can tell you that the reactor is going to be going down sometime. I guess potentially it could be a tech lab, but it'll probably be the reactor after, I guess, the second Reaper. It's going to be after a third Reaper, just to make me wrong. That's okay. Liquid Bunny is much better at this game than me, so I can be wrong.
He's trying to hunt for that drone. He thinks it might be a little off-center. Although he just doesn't have any intel on the map either.
Actually, he has no idea where his opponent is. He's like, are you over here? Are you over there? I have no idea. He's going to very quickly figure out it's cross spawn. And he's going to be, I don't know how he's going to be feeling about that, because he did go for a relatively fast CC, so he's not going like 1-1-1 off of one base looking for some heavy drops, maybe, 8 Marines or something like that inside of a medevac, or a couple of Marines, a couple of Hellions, as we often see from a 1-base 1-1-1. In this case, he's going to be going for probably a 2-base 1-1-1, as we, again, very often do see, but not necessarily looking for like super crazy amounts of damage early on. Or maybe he's just going for that Bunny 3 Reaper damage that he somehow manages to get out on Snute.
Yeah, and with typically when you go this Reaper style, you'll want to to do an SCV scout on this map because it's so large, and as you saw, the first Reaper kind of just did nothing because he was lucky to get a drone or a Zergling because the Zerglings tried to go out on the map, but yeah, I mean, without the SCV scout, if I were Snute, I probably would have. I love being drone greedy, as greedy as possible though. I would have built a little bit less drones. Oh wow, speed's already done.
Yeah,
Speed.
he gets himself a Reaper right there, and then the other Reaper, I guess, got... Wait, did he actually kill both of those Reapers?
Yeah.
He did!
All three.
All three of them gone. 9 more drones on the way. Now, once again, Tech Lab on the barracks coming out for Bunny. He was able to do some serious damage with those Banshees last game. Can he have a repeat with potentially a better opener in this game? I don't know. We will have to see 3 more gases being added on, and there's 3 more gases for Snute, that is, and there's the lift of that natural by Bunny. He's caught in a bit of an awkward place against this fast speed.
Yeah, he's forced to mule his main, which might come into play later, you know, with getting mined out sooner. So, yeah. But yeah, it's really fast speed. Surprised me even, and right now even, right, he only has barely above 1 base income, 900 minerals per minute, because he's mining 4 gases at 7 minutes. He's got to be doing a fast spire. There's no other reason. But he's trying to catch these Hellions too. Ooh, good play. Pulled back before even getting shot. It's very important. That Hellion count can definitely snowball, especially since he's going so many gases. You're gonna have less Zerglings, so he's got to keep the ones he has alive.
He goes into Baneling Nest as well while he's waiting for his lair to complete. But 2-base Muta, one of those things that we saw a long time ago, now kind of making a resurgence. He's got that Spine Crawler at the front, just that extra bit of defense because, hey, you've pretty much only got Speedlings, so you want to make sure you've got that extra DPS for something or other. Now, on the units tab, we've got just a single Banshee, but...
Ambitious drone.
Trying to take a third, I guess, yeah. Not quite going to be able to do it.
He's got 4 queens, or two queens on the way, 2 queens out, which is good against the Banshee. He's sending the other queen down at the natural, which is good since you see this queen coming in, but, you know, Overseers take a lot longer than you feel like they should to complete. Instantly made.
So yeah, even if they are instantly made, he still has that time to wait. He's got to bide his time. Now, it's not Cloaked Banshee, so I guess maybe the Spore Crawlers might be... Well, no, he's only building the 1 Spore Crawler. The other one is the Spire, which is a nice scout from Bunny, because now he knows... I mean, he's already going bio, so of course he's got the double Evo Chambers. Or, what? Double Evo Chambers? I meant double Engineering Bay. But he's already going bio, so he's already got those. He doesn't have to worry about that. He, of course, can throw down missile turrets any time in the next, 30 seconds or so and be absolutely fine. Should be dropping those 3 missile turrets relatively soon. He did go into his...
He's doing a Ling Bling bus.
Yeah, that's a lot of Banelings forcing in, and it's important to note that Bunny is just now adding on racks number 4 and 5 now. He went for his 3rd CC before them, and actually those Hellions get a nice shot off there. A couple of the Lings do get us around as they are able to eat up those Bane.
Oh my God.
Oh no, he's walking right into the Mineral Lung.
Wow.
Oh, the splits on the SCVs are great from Bunny, but against this many Banelings, there's not a whole lot you can do. 15, 17, 19, and 20 SCVs going down. Now Snute, he's not on like a crazy number of workers. He seems to have cut maybe a few corners to go for that 2-base mute, and of course the later 3rd, as you mentioned, it did get denied, has perhaps eaten into those numbers a bit.
Yeah, it's just, he definitely needed to do that because Bunny had more workers than he did, and without a 3rd on the way, even if you drone up your 3rd, it's not going to be done until right now. And so you're throughout this entire next minute and a half, Bunny's going to have 3 mules and 2 full base income while you're only 2 base income. So really great play. I really liked the Ling Bling kind of bust I'm a big fan of that timing as well. I do that exact timing frequently, but I delay my mutas a little bit longer, so then I don't take as much damage to the banshees. But I like the faster muta as well because a push like this has medevacs, and with his mutas already out, he should be able to hold this with baneling speed and mutas and lings with good creep spread as well, or a sufficient creep spread. If he can kill these 2 medevacs, he'll be in a great position. But Bunny's gonna make that a very difficult thing to do.
Snute will have 13 +1 mutas in just a few moments as both +1 and mutas finishing up there. There's the Hellbats transforming as the Banelings are going to be rolling on through. These are off creep, which makes the split a little bit easier for Bunny as the medevacs are getting targeted down as well. And this Viking forced to land. Everything seems to be routed, but no, the reinforcements coming in for Bunny. He can press on forward a little bit, but 38 lings are on the production tab. I don't know if he's actually going to do any damage.
That was impressive pullback by Snute. Didn't even lose a single muta there.
A couple of them are low, but as you mentioned, none of them dead.
Yeah, and with that next medevac, there's only 1 medevac now, and it takes 1 hit to die pretty much. So once this engagement happens...
Oh, the stim just in time as he pulls back. Goodbye, medevac. That's a potential evacuation that is now gone. Forced to turn and fight these Marines with that stim. And the +1/+1 going to be doing all right against the 0/0 Banelings. And of course, the Lings don't stand up super well, but can he actually escape? There's the extra medevacs and the reinforcements, but the splits still need to happen as Banelings rolling on forward. And Bunny,
got one more medevac.
Yeah, he cleaned up. He's keeping this medevac count like scarily low for a bio talent.
So important. If you can kill those medevacs, he's gotten 3 out of the first 4. That means he knows there's not going to be any drop play. I mean, look at these Marines. They still need to be healed, and it's just now he has 3, but it makes drop play very difficult here. So the only thing Snute needs to worry about is frontal attacks. He's getting his creep spread back in check. Spreading it even holy. Ooh, he's gonna spread it to the 4th base by pooping creep. That's interesting.
That much more annoying. And Muta's going to be coming in over on kind of that left side of the map. Finally, Bunny is trying to activate some of that drop play that he would like to do. Bunny has revealed himself a little bit here as the Muta's turning around to try to get some nice engagements. 1 Widow Mine, 2 Widow Mines completely negated. Very nice control there from Snute. There's the drop of the first couple of Marines, but in the main base of Snute, that first medevac is going to be coming down. Can he do anything? As over at the 3rd of Snute, the medevacs are going to be dealt with by those Mutalisks as barely good control by Bunny. Only a couple of drones have actually gone down, but Bunny loses the medevac in the main base to the Spore Crawler, and now those units are pretty much forfeit as he does have to deal with that. And you said it, I mean, Bunny has just been losing every medevac left and right to these mutas. It's great play from Snute. He kills everything.
Yeah, and really the only tiniest little thing that Snute could be doing better is during this whole time, if he had just like 4 lings out on the map to counterattack the 3rd base. He's got 1 Marine in a bunker, but that only recently was created. There wasn't a bunker there during that the initial assault. And look at all these SCVs, all these mules. I mean, 8 mules right now, 3,200 minerals per minute, and it's because he was too busy to macro, and now he's throwing all his macro down. And it's just, if you were able to mess with his 3rd base with just even 4 lings, oh man, Snute would already would be in a game-winning position here rather than just equalized. But with only 2 medevacs, that's the thing, is with only 2 medevacs, the biggest thing here that Bunny has going for him are the upgrades. He has 2 upgrade advantage, 4 total, 2 full upgrade advantage on Snute. But I also play this very similar style. I wonder maybe it's because it's just getting in the meta. But like I was saying earlier, it's kind of okay to be down on your ground upgrades as long as you keep up with your muta upgrades. And so it's because Banelings are so effective against Marines that, yeah, you might be 0-0 against 2-2, but if you land the Banelings, they still die. And then your mutas clean up the medevacs, and then their whole army's dead. And you don't exactly need to worry about being down so much.
Oh, That was a medevac full of 7 Marines. One of them got dropped out and immediately destroyed by those Mutalisks. Trying to make some sort of double drop action happen is Bunny, but he knows once he lost the one drop on the left side, those Mutas are free to do whatever they want. They head over to the right side to clean up the drop there. Bunny's having a hard time actually making aggressive options work for him. It's really Snute who's been the one who's been able... Oh, never mind. That was some great focus firing on those Banelings. Oh, Snute
so
losing
meta.
everything there.
Snute totally thought he was going to focus a Muta and kind of backfired.
Not quite what he wanted. Now these
Wow,
Widow
these
Mines.
drones, these 1x1 drones.
Yeah, they're
so good.
Oh, but these Widow Mines. That was a Widow Mine hit! Yes, it was. That was 8. Oh, these Widow Mines killing every single Baneling between 2 Widow Mines, I believe. It was just so many Banelings. 20 Banelings killed between those 2 mines.
I hate when that happens. It didn't even target the Baneling. It was targeting a drone, and the drone happened to go underneath the Banelings as the Banelings went by, and the AoE just kills all the Banelings. Oh my god. That's happened to me before, but typically it focuses a single Muta, right? Like you're flying your Mutas, and then your Banelings happen to be underneath your Mutas, and the Widow Mine goes after a single Muta, and you're like, yeah, I lose 1 Muta, not a big deal. Oh my god, wait, never mind, all my Banelings are dead. They were underneath. But I can feel for Snute. That hurts to watch.
There were so many things done right by Snute, and it seemed like he was just like, I'm holding all your aggression, I'm pushing it away, my Mutas are killing your medevacs, easy peasy, everything's going my way. And then suddenly, within the space of 5-6 seconds there, 2 Widow Mines annihilating every single Baneling, and then suddenly it's like, literally just Mutas with no Baneling support against this host of Marines with that medevac support, and wow. Cactus Valley is going to be our next map. We're heading into another 4-player map. We've exhausted the majority of our 2-player maps. Only Expedition Lost is left, as we're going to be heading into that one for game number 7 if we get there. Bunny is at a 3-1 advantage to Snute. I thought for sure it was going to be a 2-2 score after that. But Bunny, he's at a game-winning or a match-winning advantage as he's at match point. So Snute heading into Cactus Valley. I guess it does, once again, depend pretty heavily on the spawn positions.
Yeah, well, you know, we talk about how close is typically good for Terran, but just like the Bly game, Bly won on game 5 on this map, and it was because BCQT was so threatened by the potential Roach or Roachling or Roach Baneling all-ins that he kind of was more conservative, more defensive, and that cost him money, and it cost him potential harass. And then Bly was able to get his economy really set up, and then just kept throwing wave after wave at him. And so it looks like cross positions though, so we won't see any kind of Roach shenanigans unless Snute decides to go that specific style.
It's going to have to be a pretty heavy committal, as he's going to have to walk all the way across the map. Maybe we'll see some sort of silly Nidoswarm shenanigans as Bly was busting out. However, the man in the top left corner, he's presently up 3-1 in this best of 7. It's the Team Gravity main event. Can he close it out? This is Bunny. He represents Team Liquid.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the man trailing 3-1 and so close to winning last game, I feel, is Liquid Snute.
Such a huge difference a couple of seconds can make between it being a 2-2 map score and 3-1. So many different ways that game could have played out. Unfortunately, for Snute, it was not in his favor. 15 hatch on the docket for Snute. Again, it's a big 4-player map. He scouts north first with his Overlord. That's kind of what he's most interested in finding out. Is it going to be immediately vertical spawns? And in this case, it will not be. He's not going to know that for a little while, though. 14cc coming out from Bunny, so they're both going to be It's certainly more of a risk for Snute. Or, no. More of a risk for Bunny, less of a risk for Snute is going to be that 15 hatch. I guess maybe if he goes like...
Ooh,
Is
he's
he?
double hatching before pool.
Yeah. I mean, either that or he's
yeah.
going for a drone scout and he just likes a lot of minerals, but... I feel like your option is a lot more sensible. So yeah, double hatch.
Exciting.
So maybe now these two openers are equally risky. I'm not actually sure. I feel like triple hatch is maybe a little bit more risky than
Much
CC
more.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The really the only build that counters CC first is if you did some kind of 9 or 10 pool or 8 pool, something like 10 or below, which is very uncommon, and it's the only it puts you behind on every scenario unless they went CC first. And so it's a big gamble. You really gotta expect your opponent to go CC first to hard counter it. While the 2 hatch before pool, you can go any build other than CC first, and it counters it, and you just lose. So, it's definitely a big risk, but it means that Snoot's willing to take that risk at this stage, being down 3-1, and he also probably understands his opponent really well, and he knows Bunny, and he knows that on this map, 4-player map, he's probably going to CC first, and he's going to take advantage of that. And it's going this 3 hatch or before pool is just so powerful when it comes to larva, and you can just get your economy up and going so much faster, and then all you have to do is worry about making sure you have enough gas to get speedlings out to deny the Hellion harass. And if you can do that, then now you have triple injects much sooner. So then your mid-game lings are a greater count. So then if you can hold the initial Hellions, then you can definitely hold any other Hellions, and it sets you up for the mid-game so much better. And with this position, I think Snoot's going to be real happy that he's not going to be harassed for the next minute or two.
Bunny's going to be pretty happy about that as well. I mean, he's walling off at his natural, but the third CC starting just around the 5.5-minute mark is perhaps what's a little bit more interesting, as that third CC, he's going to be able to lift it off and land pretty darn quickly, but triple orbital is also the thing that I'm interested in. We do have the tech lab going down on the barracks, but of course, because of that third CC, the starport hasn't started just yet. It was Rax, no Reaper, into Factory, and of course, into that third CC. So, I guess maybe bio play from... Yeah, okay, so he's going second Rax on the reactor.
I'm surprised about the Marauder. He has no scouting this entire game, and that's why. Remember we were talking about, he doesn't even know if it's close by ground.
True.
He's just about to find that out, and that's where this safety Marauder is coming in, is that he feels, I just don't know what's coming, and I know that roaches and roach banelings are really powerful on this map, so I'm going to,
Well,
only 2. Worth it so far. Equal trade.
Yep.
It's a good pull.
Loses to the spine crawler, yeah.
Yeah, with that drone pull, it allowed him to take an extra shot from the spine, maybe even 2, and that made all the difference for sure.
3 racks very soon going to be finishing up. One of the differentiations between Terran players that we see. Some guys like to go 1 CC into triple racks immediately. For
excellent scout. And he's, oh my god, he sees the double upgrades about to start, so he knows no all-ins about to come. He knows Hellbats aren't coming. And he's making 11 more drones. He's going up to 76 harvesters in a 4th base at 8 minutes into the game. This is just sitting pretty for Snute right now.
It's one of those games that starts out as a bit of a risk from Snute. Of course, triple hatch before pool, or double hatch before pool, if you want to put it that way. On a 4-player spawn map, you're kind of hoping that it's going to be CC first and hoping that it maybe is cross spawns. And then it's like, after that, he's like, no, I'm going to take a look at what you're doing, and then I'm just going to outgreed you. As you mentioned, nearly 80 drones and a 4th base started before that layer even comes into play. And of course, hey, why not get a 4th base and a macro hatch in his main base? So you know what? He's going all sorts of craziness in this.
It's excellent play. You know, he understands the ratio to income to production, and that's one of the things that's so difficult for new players or even Zurich particularly. I feel because if you accidentally don't hit an inject, then that really screws with the production. And he knows with 76 harvesters, 2,200 minerals per minute, he needs 5 hatcheries. And you know the timing's right. It didn't delay his upgrades. It didn't delay his army. He's got banelings already morphed. He's being safe about it, just in case double drop happens. He doesn't just lose the game. And I can't tell you how many times that happens. You think you're safe, and oh, you don't already have banelings morph. Oh well, this double drop is gonna do work. So he's already got a lot of banelings. He's already got his 4th base now mining.
Ooh. Those medevacs stepping into range of that Overlord for a couple of seconds. They will, of course, be spotted by the creep, which is very important to get that forewarning. With the way that the creep has been spread, he knows pretty much any which way a drop comes in, and immediately the Lings are on top of these Marines as they're falling out of these medevacs. So quite a few of these Marines getting taken out before they would ordinarily have a chance, and he has to pick up right now. All right, the Banelings show up, and he lost about half of the Marines, slightly under. And Bunny not really able to do anything. If you look at the unit's kill tab, he got the 2 drones, but the 14 Lings is really the only thing he's been able to kill recently.
Yeah, and that queen was really so much more valuable than you think, because he's only got 4 queens right now with 5 hatcheries. So having that queen is crucial. He's building 1 more. But keeping that queen alive allows him to spend this 1,200 bank. He's accumulating with this 78 harvester kind of income, and you know now he's got mutas out in the way. Ooh. Bunny, so good.
It could have been a double drop on both sides of the map, but it was basically cleaned up on the right side, which means the left side is being focused on by Snute. Coming in to 11 mutas on the way, but double upgrades as well for both of these players. 2-2 going to be finishing up at approximately the same time for both of these guys. It'll be like, I guess technically, I think 3 or 4 seconds earlier for Bunny. Not a big deal at all. There's the stim forward of the Marines. They focus down an Overlord and a Queen. Not great kills just yet, but these 4 drones are the start of something bigger. Nice focus fire on the Baneling as it was on the other side of the hatchery. Now this Ling Flood is intense, but a nice stutter step back and some nice positioning from Bunny means he gets actually a pretty good trade there.
Yeah, dirty Terrans, man.
That was very well controlled by Bunny, and unfortunately it may not be as well controlled now that the mutas are out and they're going to be able to eat up this attack. Bye-bye.
Yeah, well done with the micro at the mutas. He had about half of them killing the Marines and the other half going after the medevac and then pulled back, so he wouldn't even lose a muta. It was very well microed. There's little nuances. I mean, just earlier, he had 3 mutas going after a single medevac, and he made sure that the very first attack of the muta sent the medevac to south towards his other mutas. And it's just these tiny little nuances that nobody really realizes, but it would have taken longer for him to kill that stupid medevac, and then he might have taken longer to get to those double medevacs had that happen, and then he might not have been able to catch those 2 medevacs because it would have taken him an extra 5 or 6 seconds. But these bailing landmines...
One of them can impact, but I don't know if it would be worth it. Yeah, no, you always have to be...
It's better for vision. The one is for vision, the 3 is for death.
Fair enough. Now we've got 2 Widow Mines packed along with this. And the creep spread, it's going to be off of the... Oh, those Widow Mine hits are not what he wants. The Baneling hits are exactly what Snute wanted. Now the splitting off of creep is a lot better for Bunny now that he just has to fight the mutas, though he does still have a healthy number of Marines with the medevac support and the Thor. But no, it's not enough for the second wave of attack. There's the insta-kill on that Thor, and the mutas take down the medevacs as well. A great engagement by Liquid Snute. He steps forward, snaps everything up, and behind this 30 more Lings on the flood.
There's great splits against these Widow Mine drops as well. When I play against good Terrans, this is so tough to deal with. Dealing with Widow Mine drops that are in your main base while you're dealing with this.
Oh.
But he's going for the throat.
He's trying to just end the game right here, right now, pulling in pretty much all of his lings, magic boxing that door, or at least trying to as he breaks down the front. The depots get raised. Yeah, that's cute, but the bunker is already dead as the lings step forward, inching forward ever into the main base, and the stutter step is good, but the mutas don't care. They can fly over absolutely everything. The mutas now going to be focusing on the main. GG! Snute brings it back. It's a 2-3 map store. He hasn't evened things up just yet, but man, oh man, was that a powerhouse game from Liquid Snute. You mentioned it, triple hatch into just very, very greedy play. Why? Because he scouted, because he knew that he could take those risks, and then he just gut punched Bunny with attack after attack, knocking away those marine drops that were trying to make something happen for Bunny, and just repeatedly defending on one side, and then shortly after he defended those drops, attacking with everything he's got. What a game from Snute.
And we never got to see the burrowed landmines in play.
It always makes me sad because you see, like, you remember that Scarlet versus Bomber game, like 5 from
yeah.
Red Bull Battlegrounds, and you're like, burrowed banelings can be so incredible, but so often they just don't do anything, and you're just hoping. You're waiting for that next game that will replace Scarlet versus Bomber. You're like, yeah, man, those burrowed banelings were amazing. But,
yeah.
All right, coming into it, it's Inferno Pools. Ugh. It's game 6, and we do have a situation where it could be it is match point for Bunny, so I don't know if that makes him want to cheese, or if that makes him like, oh no, I know in practice matches I beat Snute in the macro game, so instead of trying to cheese, I'm just going to play macro and try to win out that way. But at any rate, we're going to be jumping into our game number 6. The man in the bottom left corner, that's right, it's the quote-unquote fun spawns, I don't know. We have the man in the bottom left-hand corner representing HyperX and Team Liquid. This is Bunny!
And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Liquid Snute. Yeah, so Snute, one thing that I want to point out, I know this is close by ground, so it's a little less relevant now, but going into this game, one of the things that actually, you know, you're talking about how Bunny was beating Snute in these macro games, and if you think about it, Snute was able to eke out a win because of a Roach kind of cheese, all-in, kind of deceiving kind of play that got him ahead. And of course, great play, but that was the roots, the initial advantage that he gained. And then last game, he did something similar, where of course he made really great play, and of course, you know, throughout the entire game, he had excellent decisions that kept him ahead, but the 3 hatch before pool and the mass droning really gave him this macro advantage. And the thing about what I'm getting at is Bunny did not do nearly enough scouting last game, and he didn't scout until over nearly 7 minutes into the game. So did he know that Snute went 3 hatch before pool? Did he know that he went 2 hatch before pool, 3 hatch before pool? Because if not, then he might feel like, oh, Snute beat me in a macro game with no innate advantage. Well, if he does know that, then he would know that, okay, I should play macro. Anytime we have a standard macro game, I win it. He has to have some kind of slight advantage on me in order to actually beat me in the macro game. And but because he had such little lack of scouting, I'm not sure if he picked up on that. And you know, if this were a tournament, he might have tried to sneak in a quick build order, watch the replay for the real quick, you know. But I don't think we had time for him to load up the replay or anything like that.
Certainly we did not. We've been jumping from game to game. Snute now knows exactly where Bunny has spawned, and Bunny is going to be sending his first Reaper north. Interesting that this very well could be a case of all things being equal, Bunny wins. Ultimately, that's kind of how it's looking as you summarize there. So maybe this one game, Bunny or Snute just looks for like, all right, how do I defeat this guy? Because I'm assuming they've played practice games against each other. They're probably pretty familiar with each other's playstyles.
Yeah, and you know, Bunny realizes that he doesn't SCV scout. He likes to have the greed. He likes to have the more money. And because of that, he understands that his Reapers aren't going to be guaranteed damage. Sometimes what's happening is he's rolling the dice, and this is the worst dice he can roll. But because he's only going one Reaper, the amount of weight that's on that dice is far less. You know, if he went 3 Reaper and he's not being able to do any damage until moments from now, then oh wow.
This is actually a pretty healthy number of Lings moving in here. The SCV and kind of the path that it takes to build this command center is doing it quite well. Wow!
No.
He gets the finish moments before being killed. Even that Marine doing a bit of damage there. And of course, I'm actually kind of surprised he immediately
he has to cancel
started.
the orbital though.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to cancel it.
He immediately started it, so he can't lift off. He's got 2 Marines heading down, but there's more and more Lings moving in. No, Snute actually pulls the Lings back. No way. No way,
He's
really?
gonna let it burn. Wow.
Wow.
Think it's gonna make it there? If it doesn't make it there, he's done for.
Yeah, that's... Huh.
I guess it will. I just feel like who has that kind of game experience to know that the orbital is gonna live with 50 HP or something? How much does it have? 97.
100?
Yeah.
Wow, he still hasn't actually repaired it.
Now
Bunny?
it's down to 75.
Bunny? Oh my word, it's...
Oh, if it dies, that would be the most
No, Bunny, you
cripplingly
can't.
sad, depressing way to lose this game. Oh, there we go.
Oh. That's like the Beastie Cutie game where he had that SCV like sitting next to the command center. It's like that feeling multiplied by 10. Oh my word, I thought he was actually going to let that burn down. And as you said, that would have been such a crippling way to go. Such a just like almost humiliating way to die in this game as you go for that. Not fast CC, but he didn't go 3 Reaper, and he didn't go for a much faster 1-1-1, which is what he could have done if he hadn't gone for that CC. So yeah, losing that CC would have been absolutely huge. Didn't quite happen. Very narrowly didn't quite happen. We've got Medivacs on the way. We've got Hellions getting pumped out. He's looking to push up further and further with that Hellion count, taking himself up to 8 in a very short fashion. The Armory finished up moments ago.
Roaches.
Yep, you mentioned it. Hellbats is exactly what he has got. And as you said, 7 Roaches are on the production tab. They're not out on the map. Lings flooding forward as there is going to be the Ling surround. And actually, that's a pretty nice Ling surround. Wow, he's actually taking not nearly as much damage as I thought he would.
Yeah, the Hellbats did a full animation attack on those queens as the Lings came in, and so not only did they get a full surround, but instead of getting the full surround and then instantly losing half of it by them all dying, they actually had a full surround for a full, at least a couple attacks, which just did crazy amounts of damage, and that's really what made that engage so powerful for Snute. I mean, he's in a commanding position right now. He doesn't have a 3rd CC. He has to lift up, send SCVs back into the main base. What was that?
Huh, he is really worried about the roaches that are coming in towards the natural. And once again, this CC is under fire. It's going to slowly be burning down. And, oh, there's the step forward. This one hero Hellbat trying to do some damage, but presently it has hardly killed anything. Oh, it drops immediately onto those drones. It actually gets some nice damage off there as it has killed, wow, it's actually killed 12 workers, and that is kind of silly as he's doing way more damage than he should have been allowed to. Now on the back end of this, those 4 SCVs did go down, and once again, this orbital is burning.
Hurts. Poor Snute. It seems like there was no way to lose, and then a single Hellbat, equalizes once again.
Is the Nidus enough? I mean, we've seen some pretty crazy Nidus plays on this map. I would more be looking for it at the, main base. He's gonna Nidus.
Oh my god, it's the only little dot. Oh, the refinery.
The refinery. That vision. The
What's he
Banshee
focused
could
on?
literally
He's focused on the Banshee. He's just now noticing it. No, he didn't notice it. He's still macroing.
He lets the Queen get out, and now... Oh, well, nothing else has jumped out quite yet to join that Queen. Will it be 4 transfuses? No, it's got quite a small amount of actual energy on this Queen. So actually, there's going to be a healthy number of Queens suddenly popping out here. This is quite a few Roaches as well. Not a crazy, overwhelming number, but maybe just enough. GG! Snute takes it. A weird
Wow.
game on Inferno Pools. It was back and forth, and who's going to win? Nobody knows, but Snute takes it to 3-3.
Wow. Like you said, Team Gravity's fight night just never, ever ends early. We're always going to Game 7s, Games 5s. It's crazy.
It's almost like there's a magic about it. I don't know, maybe there's like a secret formula that the Team Gravity management has figured out. They're like, all right, these are the players we need to pit up against each other to make sure that it's like as evenly matched as possible. And based on games 1 through basically 5, looking at Inferno Pools with that Hellbat being like, all right, he's done that damage, that like silly amount of damage, the additional 12 drones or something like that going down. It's like, ugh, that one Hellbat. Well, I guess Bunny gets to win the game. And then it's like, oh, the Nidus goes down. It's at the natural. It's in vision of the refinery. There's a Banshee right there. The Banshee keeps flying. And it's like, oh, this is actually going to work for Snute. He actually just lets it happen and makes the play. Wow, I thought that game was going to end maybe a minute earlier than it actually was going to. Or I guess a minute later. But Snute made it happen. Some great moves there.
Yeah.
Wow, oh, wow, Snute. But once again, thank you all very much for joining us here on Team Gravity Fight Night. It's been a super ton bit of fun for us. And, I mean, heading into a Game 7 where you got players like Snute and Bunny, and, of course, with this being Game 7, both of these guys got to choose 3 maps, and this was the last map remaining, Expedition Lost. Which, of course, means that it is time to jump in here to find out exactly how this is going to be going down, as in our northern position, representing HyperX and Team Liquid, this is Snute.
Representing the exact same organization, in the top right-hand corner, we have Bunny. So how do you think Bunny's feeling right now? How would you feel if you were in Bunny's position?
I have no idea, because Niduses are like the scariest thing, but also the thing that makes me like really upset. I'm just like, I have no idea what to do against a Nidus, because I seem to never spot them when I need to, and so it's always like, hey, why is all my... Oh, because I've got really bad map awareness as well. So it's like I don't always notice the stuff as soon as it pops into vision, and I'm just like, oh, I guess I just lose now. So for me, it's like it's super tilting. But Bunny, I mean, he's pretty strong. So you know what? He's probably just gonna be like, easy peasy. We're going into a final game. I'll just kill Bunny, or I'll just kill
love
Snute.
Snoot's mass scouting, and he's also going to be able to have a drone attack the command center that's just going to start, so it's going to delay the CC first, making the drone scout all the while worth it. Like this early drone scout, the second the CC goes down, the drone's going to show up. Oh, yep. Yeah.
Wow, that is great. Immediately starts punching away at that SCV. The response from Bunny: 2 SCVs pulled from the main. One to fight the drone, the other to build that command center. And he gets the first drill off, so that's nice. But Snute, he's still looking for blood. Wow, Bunny, this is not quite as he would have liked, but he did go for that CC first. So, you know, one SCV off the line isn't necessarily the biggest deal.
Oh, yeah, it's a trade. He's aware that Snute has 1 drone off the line, so he can have 1 SCV off the line. But, you know, he's getting scouting intel with that drone off the line, while Bunny's not, so...
The other thing that Snute is doing is double hatch before pool. This is no ordinary double hatch before pool. Yes, at the gold.
So good. This is where the early scouting, I mean, this is what Snute needs. This is how you play. I'm so excited.
What a way to finish out the series. It's Game 7 of Team Gravity's Fight Night. The final best of 7, well, the final series of the day, locked into a 3-3 position. And then Snute is like, triple hatch before pool at the gold. So from here, of course, lots and lots of drones. Now, ordinarily, you get your triple hatch, but it's usually pretty far away from the Terran player. This reinforcement point in the middle of the map for Snute lends so many units to be pumped out just, you know, this is like a hop and a skip away from that Terran main or the back rocks, which
Exactly.
Zergs love to break down.
Exactly. It's a little skip, and then you can just take one other step and then start back knocking down those back rocks. And yeah, it's so tough to hold those back rocks if somebody has an army sooner than you're expecting, and with the gold base, it's gonna hit sooner than you're expecting, and they're gonna have the economy to actually not be fully all in, and it looks like Snoot's just not even thinking about that. He wants to go. He wants to. Oh, well, actually, he's making some lings, 6 lings. But that's just
Not too
probably
many.
and making sure that if something catches him off guard, he doesn't just instantly lose his whole advantage. Being safe about it, but you know he's really looking to get full 3-base income, I think, before he does anything.
He's pumping out more and more drones as you were identifying there, and
Ooh, I love this play. 6 lings to kill the rocks, so then there's no way Hellion regression can hit nearly as fast. This
Yeah.
means he doesn't need gas or speedlings. You know, he can take 10 more drones and then probably throw down a spine crawler, and that's all he needs to do. And he has to go all the way around, and by going all the way around, he might not even see the gold base because he might go directly into the natural.
And for now, Bunny, I mean, he heads out with those first 2 Hellions. He hasn't been able to do really anything else out on the map. If you check his vision, he's got, like, literally vision of nowhere. And yes, he heads pretty much immediately to the gold, so we will know about that. But as you said, this is 20, 30 seconds delayed from where they ordinarily would have scouted that gold if those rocks had been down. Third
Yeah,
CC finishes up for Bunny, though.
And now we're seeing 48 harvesters with the gold base. I mean,
Ooh.
that's pretty. He just needs to hold. He has spines. He has some lings. He has roach warren. Ooh. Oh, great split. Oh, those Hellions.
They're
roasting
cleaning,
poor
yeah.
lings.
It's a absolute barbecue, as they say, and now they're into the main base. Could this be the winning advantage for Bunny? He needs to get a few more drone kills to really push himself even further. He's going to have triple orbital, which is great for Mule income. 7 drones going down. Can he target down a last couple of weakened ones? The answer, well, the answer is yes. He's getting 10 drones killed altogether. He's got more Hellions out in the middle of the map. Is this enough?
Surprisingly, he fit in another 5 drones in his production, and that's huge because now he's still above on harvesters while he's defending this, while he's building roaches. And yeah, he has 1 marauder, but those roaches, I'm thinking those roaches are going to start knocking down the back rocks. Don't go for an all-in because that's not where he's at right now. You know, use the lings and the spines to hold against the Hellions, and use the roaches to, well, I guess you can use them to push back the Hellions first. Oh, wow. Ambitious Bunny going for the gold.
I guess.
Nope, never mind.
Okay, there we go. He was like, I'm going to fight greed with greed, and then he sees the roaches out in the middle of the map. He's like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah,
All right.
I think it was also, I think he instantly was reminded of the fact that, Great's around. It's like he knew he was going to go there. It's great.
3 drones. Those, like, 4 Hellions traded out for 3 drones. And
It's
11
gonna
more on the tab.
Yeah, and it's going to make these 8 roaches. There's no way he's going to hold that 3rd base. He's going to have to lift. He's not going to be able to secure. He's going to have to throw more mules, and as natural. And you know, now we're at 62 workers with another 6 on the way. It's going to be full 3-base income, probably a 4th on the way soon here, and double upgrades.
Why not?
Does he
You
drop a
need-
mule? Nope.
Oh. Very nice response time from Bunny. Dropping that mule would have just been extra insult to the injury. And 67 harvesters. You've mentioned that those are on gold minerals, some of them. This is a, 3-base versus 2-base situation where the Zerg is, 600 minerals roughly ahead in minerals, or 600 income ahead in minerals, and about 200 to 300 ahead in gas. So he's got a healthy income lead in both respects, and of course part of that is due to those gold minerals. Double hatches coming down, 1 a macro hatch.
He's been saving his mules as well. So look at his income. He's just got one mule now, but he wanted to secure this third base before he mules. And so his income is, like you said, he really is. He has quite the disparity right now, and that's going to make Snute jump up in supply, as we're seeing right now.
He's taking a commanding lead. Now, if these Banelings, nope, never mind. They don't get some good hits, but there's some potential
Excellent
elevator
defense.
action that could happen.
Wow.
There's nothing that Bunny can get done every time he's trying anything. It's just getting locked out.
Yeah, with 11 mutas on the way, I mean, if he sticks around, which it looks like he's trying, could be dangerous. You don't want to lose all your medevacs. You only got 2 with 2 more on the way. We talked about how crucial those medevacs are, even though Snute did lose that game.
The first couple of medevacs extremely important. The Banelings now going to be coming up. Of course, they're off creep. They don't have speed just yet. And the majority of the forces do escape, but once this afterburner kind of ignite, once it runs out, the mutas can catch up to the weakened medevac, as we saw there. They can catch up to the second medevac, while the Ling Bling deals with the Marines on the ground. And both of those medevacs getting cleaned up, that cuts down that medevac count to just 3.
We're looking at these rocks. They're just huge. This whole reinforcement army was trying to save the medevac, and it couldn't save it because of these rocks. And that's just huge, you know. Oh my god.
I can't believe this. Snute is just inside of the main base on top of the production, snaps himself up a tank, shuts down a missile turret as well, because you know what? Why the heck not? And again, no!
Oh, it's just 2.
Yeah. That was an opportunity for Snute to do some serious misstepping, to do some serious damage to himself, but he didn't. Now, the rocks have finally been broken down, but this has delayed so many aggressive options by Bunny. And now Bunny, he may be a little bit frazzled, but he's certainly down in army supply.
Yeah, and with great creep spread on the left side, he can really set up counterattacks. And there is a bunker, but I would really like to see a counterattack. But he knows he's up on army as well, and with this creep spread, he really can set up a complete surround right now, and it'll work. He can have a really, really pretty surround right now, and he's going for it.
The tanks from Bunny are nice, but Snute is just like, hey, whatever, I'll just head into the natural base. And yeah, he's going to be going right in. He'll get himself out a couple of Marines, but the Thor, if he can snap that up, that's so important. Now, in the middle of the map, those Marines still not really able to do that much. And yeah, the siege tank's getting some nice hits. And now on top of the production is Snute. I'm not actually sure. Can Bunny stand in the middle of the map? No, he has to pick up immediately, but these tanks getting some great shots off. The Lings don't care. There's enough of them for the surround, and suddenly Snute has cleaned up everything of Bunny in the middle of the map. These 3 medevacs trying to find something to do, but the Mutalisks are showing up now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Snute is too much.
Yeah, those siege tank shots scared me for a moment, but he had just barely enough Marines or Banelings to keep the whole triple medevac in the medevacs.
Yeah, Snute is running all over Bunny in this game.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Bunny is going to need to pull some sort of a miracle. He was up 2 games to 0 and then 3 games to 1, and now suddenly Snute is crashing through the natural expansion up the main ramp. He's on top of that production. Muta is going to be assaulting over into the natural and shutting it down. That's the word. GG. Snute takes it against Bunny with a 4-3 score.
Unbelievable.
That is Team Gravity Fight Night for you. What a play in game number 7 from Liquid's Bunny. From Liquid's Snute. Great play in the early part of the series from a Bunny, but wow, Snute with the closing out. I mean, that was effectively a 3-0 starting from games 5. I mean, Cactus Valley Inferno Pools Expedition lost 3 wins in a row for Bunny.
Yeah, and people talk about how sometimes having a finals with only a best of 5 can sometimes just feel a little uneventful, or with like you said, 3-1. If it was a best of 5, it looks like Snute just got manhandled. Oh, it's 3-1. He lost 3-1, and then instant 3-0 counter, and it makes you glad that it went to best of 7 because we got all those great games.
Indeed. Now, to top things off, Liquid Snoot takes himself home $60 of the main event. The main event is split $80, $60 to first place, $20 to the runner-up, if you want to look at it that way. Bunny will walk away with $20, maybe his pride a little bit in tow as well. As, Snoot, he got beat out of Premier League by Kelazur, who is a Terran player who is very good, and I like him very much, but he is nowhere near as accomplished or established as Bunny. So Snute gets beat out by Kelazur. Now he beats Bunny back. And these were not like, oh, I'm just going to 888 all in and win the games from Bunny. Like, no, Bunny was playing macro games most of the time. And Snute, it was a variety of styles from him, but Snute able to make it happen. So it's definitely a victory that Snute can, I guess, be proud of. Like, he doesn't have to feel like, oh, man, I just won that because my opponent, couldn't show up or something. Like, he won those in like the most legitimate way possible.
Yeah, it was really well played. And to comment, I guess I want to make a little comment about your Kel'Thuzar comment. Kel'Thuzar is very, very refined when it comes to Hellbat kind of timings, and that's how he beat Snoot. So I think if we were to look at it saying, wow, Snoot can beat Bunny, which is an exceptional Terran and arguably the best foreigner, especially Terran, and then Kel'Thuzar, who's who's there and he's worthy, but not the same tier as Bunny. And it's really it comes down to, I think, those kinds of Hellbat timings. We saw Hellbats from Bunny, but one of the things that there are definitely nuances to the Hellbat timings where it looks like it's the exact same push, but there are just a couple little tiny actions, one or two little different splits of the Hellbats can make all the difference. Absolutely, 100% all the difference. And so it's just with all that practice Kel'Thuzar had, he kind of pushed Snoot, and he won, I think, both games against Snoot with Hellbats. And so I think maybe if Snoot just could have studied specifically Kel'Thuzar a little bit more, he might have had a little bit easier time with that. But great games from him throughout the series, and Bunny, like you were saying, Bunny wasn't just cheesing and taking games off him by cheese. It was through exceptional macro play, and the same with Snoot. It was really back and forth. They threw in their cheeses to not be so standard and predictable. And so they just played very very intelligently and equally, and they never truly committed to one kind of style. Snoot game one tried Roach Hydra, and then he went back to the Ling Bling Muta and such. And so always keeping your opponent on their toes. And so it was really great series. Really glad we got to see it go to Game 7.
Yeah, a best of 5 would not have done these guys justice. It would have turned out completely differently. It would have been a bit anticlimactic now that we know the power of those last 3 games. We could go on just about forever talking about how fun that series was. And of course, you and I, Sir Robin, we got a front row seat, which is double awesome. Hopefully, you guys watching at home enjoyed it as well. Thank you all very much for tuning in. By the way, we have to give a special thank you to you. Now, Bunny will unfortunately miss out on the opportunity to head to the Tournament of Champions via invite. But Bunny, Kane, No Regret, Bly, and Beastie Cutie all have an opportunity to qualify for the Team Gravity $200 Tournament of Champions, which will be happening at some time. I don't actually know when the first one of those is, but the Tournament of Champions is a new twist to the Team Gravity Fight Night recipe. It's after every 4 fight nights, we'll be having a Tournament of Champions, and that is made possible by Hitbox TV, SpawningTool.com, and UFO Gaming. So, no, OFU Gaming. It's not UFO. It's OFU Gaming. So, people sponsoring some very cool StarCrafty 2 esportsy types things. And, of course, with this being the 21st Team Gravity Fight Night, Hitbox has paid out $2,100 into the pockets of StarCraft 2 players. So a big thank you to Hitbox for that. Now, of course, check out SpawningTool.com. They've got replays from previous Team Gravity Fight Nights, and they'll most likely have the replays from this one as well, such as Tasia vs. Parting, last week's main event. Check it out. It is a sick, awesome series that you need to watch. But that pretty much wraps us up for tonight. So a big thank you to all the players who participated. A big thank you to you, Sir Robin, stepping up, doing some casting, providing some very good analysis. I certainly enjoyed our time together. And of course, beast running behind the scenes. He has been our observer and production man for this series, so a big thank you to him. He did very good. Cheers to him. And finally, we have Sir Robin. Do you have any personal shout-outs before we close the show?
Shout out to Team Gravity. I'm loving my stay with Team Gravity. They're great people. They want to help as much as they can. They do things like this. They give me opportunities like this, and I enjoy it. I have fun with casting. I'm kind of new to it, and if you can't tell, there's definitely some things that I can improve on when it comes to my casting. But I really do enjoy the analytical and having that front row seat. It's a lot of fun.
And of course, you can check out Sir Robin's stream and Twitter. I don't actually know what your stream is offhand.
Twitch.tv/Sir Robin.
Ooh, I was kind of thinking it was Sir Robin SC2, but that's your Twitter, right?
Yep, that's my Twitter.
So check him out, folks. That will do it. Of course, for Team Gravity, the management behind the scenes, Hitbox TV, SpawningTool.com. This is Cybert, and we will see you next time.
Sweet.